So, one of the weapons that I really wanted to revisit after the release of 1999 was... Is it 1999? One moment. Yeah, it is 1999. I don't know why I thought it was a different year all of a sudden. But yes, one of the weapons that I really wanted to revisit was the Acceltra Prime. This is Gauss Prime's fully automatic micro-missile launcher, which does pure impact damage on direct hit with the rockets, which then explode, dealing puncture and slash in a range of 5 meters. It sports an excellent 34% crit chance with an above average 3 times crit multiplier and a fairly decent status chance of 18% as well. It is an extremely powerful rifle that a lot of people enjoy, so I thought we would do a bit of a revisit here and try it out with all the new stuff that was released with 1999. So let us give it a shot, shall we? And there we go, a blank slate. One of the less fortunate things about the Acceltra Prime is the ammo economy, so I think Primary Crux is going to be exquisite with the ammo efficiency as well as the extra status. We're going to need Serration for some base damage. Let's get Chamber in there. I need to move these polarities around. Why do I have them like this? What? Aptitude for the status chance and Gandhi Overload, and I'm actually going to go with Galvanized Scope this time around because we already want to go for headshots for Primary Crux. Top it off with Vital Sense for some crit damage. You could go Vital and either Hunter Munitions or Internal Bleeding because you do have Forced Impact procs on direct hits, but I think Corrosive and Cold with Primed Cryo Rounds is gonna be nicer. I do very much prefer direct damage to damage over time on weapons like this. Alright, let's flip this dash into a V, I guess. Move it up here. For now, I'm just gonna run Primed Cryo Rounds. Eventually, we're gonna put Aptitude back in. Alright, let's see what it do. There we go, there we go. I was a little bit worried about stacking scope, but it seems fine-ish. So crit's good. Also, we're still missing an incredibly important mod, right? Galvanized Aptitude. We get a ton of status and a buttload of damage from Gandhi Overload as well. Very cool, I like it. Let's add good boy Harold into the mix as well. We do need to switch him over to Vital though. Oh, that is magnificent. Hell yeah, brother. Look at that. That is some solid, saucy damage. Yeah, we can totally run Vigilante Supplies. Let's do that, yes. That will help with ammo as well. And there it is. I genuinely think Acuity would be really strong, but I don't think it fits the weapon at all. The accuracy I don't think is good enough for this, so I'm not even gonna try it. I just really don't think it fits, even though it might be really strong. I just don't think it's worth losing the multi-shot. 2Ds on a rifle is actually becoming a little bit more common nowadays. When it's with D-rank Vigi supplies, I don't think that's necessarily worth the extra forma, and we top it off with Galvanized Aptitude. What about the ramp up? Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it's a little bit harsher than on a lot of other weapons, because we need to ramp up the crit, but still, the weapon has enough damage even without crit to feel good. I like it. Extremely solid so far. So far, damage is tremendous, very high DPS, feels good, and also the ammo is holding up really well. I am looking for something to complain about, but I am not finding it. This is like a much more milder, more convenient version of a Crux build. Yeah, you want to go for weak points, but you mainly go for weak points to, like, get the buffs. Once you have the buffs, you can go for body shots and it's fine. Well, you still want to go for weak points, because you get the damage multiplier, but it's not required. You don't do, you know, minuscule amounts of damage if you miss a weak point. Malice. My dude, can we? Oh, come on, and now I'm gonna chicken out, I need to roll. That's so close though, very, very close. I wonder if they're ever gonna fix the pet scooting by you as you ride into the mission. I just love the way this weapon feels, and I think that's why it's so popular, because yeah, it's strong, but it also feels really good. One thing I will say though, a bit of a tip for you brand new Acceltra users, this is a rifle. Do not treat this as an AoE weapon. This is a rifle with splash damage and needs to be treated as such. Don't get me wrong, the AoE, the splash, is tremendous, yeah, and it can clear a low level of missions, but a significant portion of the damage comes from direct hits. Managed to get the damn cache for once. I have really bad luck when it comes to the caches. They always spawn really far away, and most of the timer ticks down before I even get to them. Nyaha! It is an Acolyte. See, I thought I was going mad. People were making fun of me in the comments for saying that we didn't get an Acolyte in a bounty in Holovania. And they were like, oh, so Mr. YouTube man, you can't get bounties or Acolytes in bounties in Holovania. What's this then? Man, now that I see that Acuity mod, I think I need to correct myself, because one thing I didn't think of when I was like thinking about Acuity or putting Acuity into the build is the fact that if you run Acuity, you don't get multi-shot, and therefore you have no rockets to spread around. You would just get a rocket, which is going to be pretty accurate. So yeah, if I were you, I would try an Acuity build as well. It's another Acolyte in a bounty in Holovania, but that's impossible, Mr. YouTube man. Yeah, suck it, YouTube wizards, freaking warlocks of the comment section. To be fair, there is something weird going on with Acolyte. Sometimes they do not spawn, and I don't know why. Alright, that was pretty fun. I don't think we need to do any additional testing, so let's go do the thing. Alright, so here's one of the builds that you can run on the Acceltra Prime, and I say that because there are many builds. That's the wonderful thing about all these new toys that we got with 1999. Most weapons now have a variety of builds that you can try and then pick the one that you like the most. We run Serration for damage, Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Galvanized Scope for crit chance, Vital Sense for crit damage, Galvanized Aptitude for status chance and condition overload, and then Primed Cryo Rounds for a Ton of Gold, as well as Malignant Force and High Voltage for corrosive damage and status chance. Now, it's always a good idea, and I would highly recommend to run some form of ammo mutation with the Acceltra Prime, because despite us running primary cracks, which gives us a ton of status and ammo efficiency, you can still get unlucky and just run out of ammo, so having some ammo mutation like Vigilante Supplies, which also gives you extra crit, is tremendous. I did make a mistake in this video and I ran everything with Arcane Avenger, so we had slightly more crit than we were supposed to have, but it didn't make a massive difference. You're just gonna have a little bit less crit if you don't have Avenger. A good priming pet like Harold, which primes Vital, Puncture, Heat, Impact, Radiation and Magnetic, as well as a bit of Cold, is gonna have a much bigger impact on a setup like this. And finally, one thing that's always really good with corrosive setups is to run 2 Emerald Archon shards so that you get more corrosive procs and you can strip the enemy armor completely with just corrosion alone. You have a lot of options when it comes to building the Acceltra Prime, so I would highly recommend you experiment with different builds and don't just settle with the first thing that you try. This build is good, I love it, and I'm gonna be running it on the Acceltra Prime, but you might prefer an Acuity based setup, something that's a little bit less spray and pray and more accurate, just a high damage with tremendously multiplied crit through primary Acuity. Or you might prefer a damage over time setup that runs Hunter Munitions or Internal Bleeding with Vital. So again, while I absolutely love this setup and I would highly recommend you give it a shot, I would also recommend you try out other builds as well. Because variety, as they say, is the spice of life. Just because I like it doesn't mean you like it as well. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have for today, so I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. And by the way, if you have any suggestions for weapons or setups for this series, no matter how silly they are, because usually the sillier the better, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.